Hello, fellow peasants. Tonight I'll be reviewing 1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay guys, so I just got done watching A Nightmare on Elm Street. This came out in 1984. It's directed by Wes Craven. It stars Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp, and Johnny Depp. This is one of Johnny Depp's first film roles, I believe. I think the only thing he did before this was 21 Jump Street, which was a teenage cop show, whatever that was. It was before my time. I never watched 21 Jump Street. I don't know much about it, okay? Anyway, what is A Nightmare on Elm Street about? If you don't know, basically, child murderer Freddy Krueger is chasing these teenagers around in their dreams. He's trying to kill them. In some cases, he is killing them. And this group of friends are all having a similar dream where a guy in a red and green sweater with knives for fingers and a top hat and a very burnt face is chasing them through their dreams and trying to kill them. Some of them do die. And throughout the course of the film, they got to figure out how to stop him. They're trying not to sleep. They don't want to go to sleep because they're afraid if they sleep, they die, okay? Anyway, so what do I like? What do I not like about A Nightmare on Elm Street? What I like is, first and foremost, the concept, the idea that someone is coming into your dreams to kill you. It's very creepy. It's the thought of like, I can't get any sleep. Like the human body needs sleep. Like you need to sleep or you die, right? So you're kind of gonna die either way. And like in this situation, either you die from sleep deprivation or you die because Freddy kills your ass. So not a good situation to be in. So just that premise, that idea, and I believe, if I recall correctly, this was inspired by a couple things. One, Freddy was inspired by like the character of Freddy in general was inspired by when Wes Craven was a kid. This old guy was staring at him outside his apartment window or apartment door or something, and he tried to open the door and he wasn't able to get in or something, but it was some situation when Wes Craven was a kid that scared the shit out of him when this stranger tried to enter his home at night. And then the story, the overall concept of the film, Wes Craven got, I think it was a news article that he read. It was over in Asia. It was some Asian country, I believe, where this kid kept telling his parents, like, I can't go to sleep or I'll die. I can't go to sleep or I'll die. And then finally, I think he went to sleep, like he went to bed, and then he died. And I think that fascinated Wes Craven. I could be getting this, like, the details of this wrong, but anyway, it's something like that. So the overall idea that someone can kill your ass in your sleep is very scary. In terms of the cinematography, I do think it is shot decently. I don't think it's something that's next level or anything. It's not super impressive, but there are some shots in the film that I do feel are good. I find it okay. It's okay. It's not bad. I do like some of the cinematography in the film. For the majority of the film, I find the cinematography to be very standard and vanilla and very much standard point and click cinematography. But there are some nice scenes in here, some nice shots. Anyway, what else? Some of the acting is good. Heather Langenkamp's performance is weak toward the beginning of the film, especially like after the first boyfriend dies. When Tina's boyfriend, when Tina dies and her boyfriend is like arrested and all that, and Nancy's dad is like, what the hell were you doing over there? And she's like explaining to them. Like, her acting is really bad at the beginning of the film, but she gets better as the film progresses. Johnny Depp does a good job in this. Robert Englund's performance. Let's just talk about Robert Englund's performance. This is his best performance as Freddy, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like his performance in Part 2. I haven't seen that in 20-some years, so I can't vouch for that, really. But I will say, from my recollection of watching all these films, I've always thought that Robert Englund's performance as Freddy Krueger in the first film is excellent. It's spot on. It's going to be very hard. To this day, no one has come close to matching what Robert Englund did with this character. What else? I like the kills. I like Tina's kill. Tina's kill is great. I guess there's an unedited version out there somewhere where there's more blood splash or something. But that kill is gnarly, man. She's flipping around in the air. There's blood all over the walls. He's dragging her up and down. Like, that's a gnarly freaking scene. In the chase sequence beforehand. Nancy's boyfriend's death, Johnny Depp's character. I just watched the movie and I literally can't think of Johnny Depp's character's name right now. Oh my God, I know it's going to come to me. Anyway, Johnny Depp's death in the film is really cool. Like, he sinks down into the bed and then just like this giant like waterfall of blood comes shooting up out of his bed and hits the ceiling. That's pretty gnarly. I think that's about it. I think that's about all I like about the film. What I don't like about the film is some of the editing. Some of it doesn't make any sense. Like, as much as I like Tina's kill sequence, they cut back and forth between Nancy laying in bed and like, I'm like, wait a minute, like, why are you showing what's happening outside the dream and cutting back to the dream? Like, if I was making this film, I would have just had Tina go to bed and then had the dream sequence of her getting chased, and then when she was getting killed, then, you know, her boyfriend would wake up and see what's going on. But like, it cuts from her like walking through the alley to like showing Nancy in bed. And like Freddy Krueger, like where is Freddy? Because like, is he in two places at once? Because on one hand, he's luring Tina out of bed by throwing rocks at the window and chasing her through the alley. But then it cuts from that to Nancy being in bed and him coming like through the ceiling or whatever. I'm like, okay, so is he in the house with Nancy, or is he out in the street with Tina? You know, some of that was just like, some bad editing decisions there, I think. I don't like the overall 80s vibe of the movie. I feel like it is dated. I've said this before in another video. I feel like the film is dated. Like, when the sound effects, especially like in the first scene, in the opening scene where Tina's getting chased to the factory and shit, there's like when he comes up behind her, when Freddy comes up behind her, there's like a like whatever. I can't even do it. Like just some of the sound effects in the film are just very dated and corny, and it kind of ruins some of the scare factor for me. And also just the look of the film. Like, when you're watching the film, it just looks very 80s. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, it's different, because when I watch The Omens from the 70s, let's say, and they're hanging out in this really nice mansion, right? Well, nice mansions have looked the same for 200 years, right? Nice wood engravings on the staircases, marble floors. You know, rich people's homes really haven't changed that much in 200 years. Like they almost look the same. The furniture state, like go to Buckingham Palace. That shit has looked the same forever. But like middle class homes in 1984 don't look like middle class homes now. So when you when you are watching it, you're like, okay, this is, I don't know. It feels very dated to me when I watched the movie. I will say though, I will say that I did enjoy it more this time than I did the last time I watched this movie. I think the last time I watched this film was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, I don't like this as much as I used to. And I was never a huge fan of the film, but I did used to like it, you know, fair enough. And then the last time I watched it, I was like, I don't know about this. This is pretty overrated. I still think the film is overrated, but I did like it a little bit more this time than I did the last time I watched it. But I do think that the film is overrated. I think that the overall concept, like I said, is great. The idea someone can come into your dreams and kill you. I just don't think that it was executed in this film as good as it could have been. I feel like this film could have been much darker, more serious than it is. It's more of like, it wants to be smart, it wants to be intellectual and scientific, but then it also wants to be a teeny bopper B horror film. You know what I mean? And those two worlds don't collide very well if you're trying to make one or the other. I feel like if they ever were to do a reboot, a complete like remake of this film or franchise, I would want Christopher Nolan to direct it. Now, some people say, "Oh, motherfucker, he's doing Oppenheimer shit now. He's above doing Nightmare on Elm Street." I don't think Christopher Nolan is above Nightmare on Elm Street. This is the same guy who did Memento, right? And I think he did Insomnia. And then he went and did 3 Batman movies. Okay, like, don't act like if he can do a Batman trilogy, Nolan could totally do a Nightmare on Elm Street film. Like elevate that shit. Like he could bring like the sleep study scientific aspect into it. Like he could make it smart and slick and dark. Like what I would really want is like, just like imagine if Christopher Nolan was directing and then you had like David Fincher as the fucking like producer on the film, you know, like anyway, all in all, what would I rate A Nightmare on Elm Street on a 1 to 10? I've always said that it gets a solid 7 out of 10. So it gets a good 70% in my opinion. It's a C. It's a C. I don't put it up there with The Shining, The Exorcist, The Omen, The Thing. It's not in the, I don't put it up there with like Halloween or anything like that. I actually even prefer Jason over Freddy. I just feel like the idea is so good, the concept is so good, and this film just doesn't do the concept that it has the justice that it deserves. You know what I mean? Like this film could be so much better with what it's about. Anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments below what you think about 1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you like it? Do you love it? Is it your favorite horror film? Is Freddy your favorite slasher? If he's not, who is your favorite slasher? Have a good one, peasants. Peace out. Bye-bye.